Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines for June 12th, 2023. Sorry, for June. This is June movie news, guys, for June 12th, 2023. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including Madame Web. We got a quote about that movie. Oh no, man. Namor, the actor who played Namor in that Wakanda Forever movie, it's going to have some legal issues, but we'll talk about that. So does the people from the Gladiator too. There was some incident on the set that we'll be talking about. Amy Schumer talks about her Barbie experience, why she left the project and stuff like that. I'm sure that's going to be just a retread that everything that we've heard before. But we start off by talking about this weekend's box office because it's Monday. And let's go take a look at who came out in the number one spot. It was Transformers Rise of the Beast, which is fine. Conquer Spiderverse with 60 million. But the animated pick second weekend was really strong. So I would say collectively between Transformers 7 and Spiderverse, they're both box office winners in my opinion. Yeah. So let's just go over to the Box Office Mojo and take a look at their records over here for June 9th to the 11th, weekend 23 of 2023. The top five go. Transformers Rise of the Beast was number one. Number two was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Number three was The Little Mermaid. Cool. Number four was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, hanging in there in the fourth spot. It didn't move at all. And in the fifth spot, Boogeyman. Yeah, so Boogeyman was third spot last week, and now it dropped below Guardians. So Boogeyman dropped down to the fifth spot, and Fast 10 drops out of the top five. So, wow. It's going to probably, I don't know, Super Mario might beat it next week. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. So the other new openings were something called Mending the Line with 403 theaters, and The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster with 56 theaters. All right, there was a few other ones, but they only opened up in like one or two theaters. Let's just talk about the big Transformers, guys. Transformers number one, 60.5 domestically, 18.9 internationally for a 79.4 worldwide. What? No, that can't be accurate, because the international numbers were, well, they were bigger, weren't they? China box office right there, flexes, with a 40 million start in China. Now, guys, as I said in the past, the Chinese box office is not something that will make or break a movie. It's a nice add-on for sure. It's just, you can't take it with kind of like, oh, they like this kind of movie, so we'll keep on doing this kind of stuff. No, you can't do it like that. I don't know. But I'm hoping that the international numbers for Transformers Rise of the Beast will come in and actually save it, because the budget for it was pretty high. Now remember, domestically 60.5, it's not exactly the strongest opening for Transformers. I was hoping for about 70. I was actually hoping for like over 100 million, actually. But it was a good movie. If you go over to my channel and take a look at like my straight out of the theater reaction, it was thumbs up. I posted my review for that yesterday as well. But why I'm saying that we got to take a look at this as a little bit of a pause or caution here, because 60.5, that's not going to go up. It's not like next week, it's not going to post 70 million. It's going to post like around 35 to 40 million next week. So it's going to have a tough crawl here in the domestic box office. But it doesn't seem like it's opened up in all of the international markets, because if it made 40 million in China, like this article up on the Hollywood Reporter says, then these numbers here, where's the 40 million added here? It's not there. It's only saying that it's 18 million there. So, yeah, it's not being all accounted for. And yeah, and I heard that it was like 120 internationally. So something like that, right? I think Box Office Mojo is a little bit behind the game here with consolidating all of these numbers. Well, it's still Monday, but with the budget, 200 million, guys. 200 million. The budget, it's going to break even for sure. Next week, The Flash and Elemental come out. I suspect that Transformers will still be in the top three. Yeah, it'll be in the top three, because I don't think Spider-Verse will leapfrog it. It's possible. Um, it's possible Transformers. Okay, so I think the Flash is going to be number one next week, and it may be, and it's tracking as low as the 60 million opening as well. But Elemental's like nobody's talking about it. Nobody cares about Elemental. Elemental is going to be, well, it's going to be more than 77 million, so it's going to be in the top five. Probably number three, because Spiderverse is still going strong. And when people look at Elemental, like as I said, when I seen the trailers in the theater, it's like, this doesn't look good. Elemental anyway. We'll see if it fares better. But I think number one will be Flash, then probably Transformers, Spider-Man, then Elemental in the fourth spot, with Little Mermaid taking the fifth spot. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Boogeyman, Fast X, yeah, they're all going to be out of the top five next week. Things will start to get shifted down as we're fully blown now into the full summer season for sure. But I really enjoyed the Transformers. I did, and I'm rooting for it to succeed, have some success, because this is the iteration of the Transformers. They're not getting it all right. They're still injecting too much human storylines in there that you don't need. If they can just come out with the next one and make it more robot focused, there's nothing wrong with that. Executives there at the studios, there's nothing wrong with it. You'll win a lot of this if you make it more all about the Transformers. You will, and you'll keep your budgets down. You will, because you don't have to hire on actors to come on sets and do all these things. It's just we go film the plates, and that's it. It's like seriously. Anyway, I'm digressing here. Transformers, it's in a good position here. I pulled this article up on Joe Blow that seems to have said that they've ranked it from worst to best. There was a poll up on Joe Blow that I competed in. They said that Last Night was the worst one, right? Last Night? I actually think Revenge of the Fallen is the worst one. What is this? This is from worst to best. Yeah, worst to best. So they said Last Night was the worst one. That was the last Bayformer one, right? Age of Extinction. Again, you just didn't understand. You don't understand the Transformers with that movie, because you made the Dinobots. You didn't even let them talk. That's one of the great things about Grimlock, is that his voice and the way that he articulated himself. That was part of his majesty. And he just like, but dinosaurs don't talk. And it's like some studio executive who had no concept. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm not going to let myself get taken into that. Revenge of the Fallen. Again, as I said, you don't understand the source material. Megatron would never, ever, like 1,000 years, bow down before anybody, especially somebody called the Fallen. He would never, ever. That's not in his character. He stood up to Unicron, remember? A couple of times he stood up to Unicron, even when Unicron was breaking him down, just like in he did to Scourge there in this latest one. That's what happened to Megatron. No one commands Megatron. Anyway, Dark of the Moon, Rise of the Beast, is that? Okay. And then it was the original. And then, okay, then they got the animated movie. And then they put Bumblebee as number one, huh? So they had number one was Bumblebee, according to them. I liked Bumblebee a lot, but a lot of that had to do with Haley Steinfeld. Of course, every kid who grew up with the Transformers loves the animated movie. And yeah, the live action one. So for me, it would be animated. And then I think it would be Bumblebee. And then Rise of the Beasts. And then the 2007. That's the way I would rank it. All right. This is a small digression there. We digressed for a little bit. Let's continue on with looking at the box office. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in the second spot. This is a good haul. 225 domestically, internationally 87.9, and this still got to open up in a few more markets internationally. So 313 worldwide for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's why I said that they're both winners. Number one and number two are winners. For sure. Yeah. Pfeiffer in the live chat says, I cried during the Transformers animated movie. They killed all of our heroes. Yeah, they did. Me too, man. heartbreaking. And you're not going to see cartoons you rarely see cartoons with that gravitas to actually do something like that now, right? It doesn't mean that they're gone. It's just that iteration of them. I have the highest respects. We need to watch the Transformers movie at some point here. Yeah. All right. Where are we at with the box office? We were just praising Transformers and Spider-Man. Little Mermaid dropping down to the third spot. I'm not going to talk too much about that one. As I said, it's going to be... It crawled over the 400 million, but it's got to make... the budget for this was like 230 or something like that. And marketing 300 plus what the theaters take. It's got to make at least 500 million to break even. It could slowly crawl there. It could slowly crawl there. That's a bummer for me. Guardians hanging in there. Guardians Volume 3. That's worth talking about because it didn't change at all. People are still going out to see this movie. And because it had good word of mouth, people came out of it saying, oh yeah, this is a good way to end off this iteration of the Guardians. 805.9. It's not going to make $1 billion, which means that, well, Super Mario Bros. Is still number one, right? And I don't like maybe Mission Impossible can give it a run for its money. I don't think Flash is going to give a run for its money. Indiana Jones 5 is tracking for the 60 million opening as well. So it's not going to be one of those. Hopefully Mission Impossible will be joining the $1 billion club. I hope it does. Boogeyman. Let's talk about the Boogeyman coming there in the fourth spot. 24.7 domestically, 14.9 for a worldwide total of 39. That's good. I would think. I didn't like the Boogeyman. With a $35 million budget for the Boogeyman, so it's made its budget back, but you got to think again, of course, because of theater taking and marketing and stuff like that. So it's probably got to make around 50 to 60 million to break even. It's going to inch there. It's going to slowly inch there. But like the creators have high hopes for a sequel. The Boogeyman director has the best idea for a sequel, and to that I would say no, because the director. The directing of the Boogeyman was the weakest point of that film. It completely derailed it, or for me at least, my experience. The directing, the harsh cuts, the disjointed scene fragmentation of like, okay, we're starting off with a scare here. It's going, and no, let's cut and go to somebody eating a sandwich. What? It's like, yeah, I got too much of that in there for me. So his quote about that is, we have the best idea for a sequel, and we'll see the numbers make sense and if we get to do it. But me and Mark Heyman wrote the movie and have been playing with this idea. We took it to the studio, and the studio is excited about it. It's been playing in a whole different kind of horror space. Well, that horror space is not saying that it's a huge hit. It's not Smile. It's not Barbarian. It's not having that same effect where people are coming out saying, you got to check out the Boogeyman. Well, I would say that no, you don't have to check out the Boogeyman. It's not worth it. And finally, let's close out the box office report by talking about my punching bag, my personal punching bag. I know I just like, please don't do this, James. Please don't talk about it. Please don't talk about Fast 10. Yes, we are going to talk about Fast 10 because this is something that not a whole lot of other people are talking about. Remember, just like last week, it just barely crossed the 600 million mark. This week, it's just crossed the 650 million mark. So it's going down by the 50s. So next week, it'll be barely 675, maybe. Guys, I think this movie's going to tap out around 750 million. And with the budget being so high, 350 plus marketing, which is another 450 plus what the theaters take, 600 million is what you got to make to break even. I would say that it's starting to look like Fast 10 has broken even, but it's not profitable movie. It's not a profitable movie at all. And I would say from the studio executives where Vin Diesel comes out and says, we're so happy to announce that in April 2025, we're going to get Fast X Part 2. And have Vin Diesel say, well, can we please have another $400 million to make Fast X2? And I would say, as the executive, absolutely not. Think about it like this again, guys. Put yourself in it, in your own shoes. If you got $1 and you say, okay, I'm going to invest in this thing. I'm going to put my dollar in, and you're telling me that I'm going to at least get 2 to 1. I'm going to get $2 back for this. Well, it's not a huge gamble, so it's kind of like, okay, that's fine. But if you're telling me that I'm going to give you that $1, but I'm only going to get my $1 back as my investment, why would I make that risk? Because I, in fact, would be risking losing everything instead of gaining anything, right? In fact, it's even probably worse than that, guys. Like the ratio there is probably off. It's like I'm spending $600 million for Fast X2, but doing the math here in my head, I'm not going to spend that kind of money for this. That's a risk. I'm not going to risk losing $600 million. I'm not going to lose $600 million, but I'm going to lose, like the trajectory is going down. So if Fast X2 only makes $500 million and I spent $600 million, I'm not happy about that. There's no chance that I would ever give that kind of movie a green light. No chance. Absolutely none. And part of the problem is the cast is so bloated that they need to dial back with some of the characters. You heard me rant about this, but they just don't get the message here. Fast and Furious, why Trage and Roman deserve a spin-off. It's like, no, this is part of the problem with the budget here, guys. These guys have been there since, like, what, the second and fourth one? Every time they get a movie, that contract tells them, the studio, that they got to pay them more. And I would say absolutely not. In fact, I don't think they had any business being in Fast 10. I don't know, it's kind of like their stories are done. They don't help promote the backbone of what the story is, and the backbone of the story of the Fast series that it has become is Dom and dealing with Jason Momoa. That's the backbone. It's not all these side characters that are the family, and that's why budgets are so inflated. I'm just like, nobody's clamoring for this either. I don't like, other than the person who wrote this article, I don't hear anybody saying that we need a Tyrese Ludacris spinoff. They've grotesquely over valued this property because they've literally driven it into the ground. All right, that's it. I'm not going to rant and rag about it anymore. You guys know how I feel about the Fast franchise, and I don't think The Rock, that spinoff, I don't even see that happening, guys. I don't. Like as I said, just think about it as if it were your money. Would you want to take that risk? It's just not. It's not worth the risk. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, especially knowing that you're trying to close down the series, right? Yeah, that is what it is. The Fast X spinoff. I don't think that's going to do anything at all. All right, that's it. That's all I got to say about that. Okay, guys, there are all my other social media handles. There's the TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Sometimes you can see some of the behind the scenes stories and stuff of me going to the theater and stuff like that. Go check that out. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the Madame Web. This quote actually came out like 3 or 4 days ago. It came out at the end of last week. I just didn't pay it too much credence. Madame Web, the Spider-Man villain, that movie that's coming up. The producer says that the forthcoming Marvel movie is more of a thriller than a superhero action movie. Okay, a thriller than a superhero action movie. A thriller. What kind of a thriller are we talking about? Are we talking about like a David Lynch kind of thriller? Like Inception type thriller? What are we talking about? Let's take a look at what the quote actually says. Collider's interview with the Bonaventura says that Madame Web is not what people expect from a superhero movie. Quote, it's a different kind of movie in that universe. It's almost, in a way, more of a thriller, said de Bonaventura, adding, quote, it's not an action piece because, in a way, Madame Web's skill set is not conducive to an action piece, close quote. So she does a lot more magic and manipulation kind of stuff. Okay. I understand that about the character. I don't know that much about the character. This is one of those weird properties where it's kind of like, wait a minute, why are we doing this movie again? Madame Web. Apparently he's got a different take on it. I do like the cast that's going to be appearing in this. They do have a decent cast lined up. Dakota Johnson, right, is going to be playing Madame Web. I guess it's going to be a younger Madame Web. Cassandra Webb, Emma Roberts as May Parker, Isabella Merced, Anya Corazon, Sydney Sweeney as Julia Carpenter, Adam Scott as Ben Parker. Yeah, so it's going to take place way before Spider-Man, right? Julia Carpenter. Why am I drawing a blank on who that is? Oh yeah, Black Cat, right? Is that who that is? Black Cat? Or am I not seeing that right? Am I not reading that right? No? It's a fictional character published by comics. I don't care what. Known as Spider-Woman. Julia Carpenter is known to become as the second Spider-Woman. Okay. Well, they said that they were going to make a Spider-Woman movie, but I heard that Haley Steinfeld wanted to be a Spider-Woman, not Sydney Sweeney. Everybody thought that Sydney Sweeney was going to be Black Cat, but whatever. Good cast. When is this supposed to come out? Wow. Geez, James, you're not doing your due diligence today. You're not taking a look at Madame Web. February 16th, 2024. So we're still a ways away from that. More of a thriller than a superhero action movie. Because there's no hero in it. She's the villain, right? She's going to be the one manipulating. As long as it doesn't fall into the same pitfalls as Morbius. These experimental movies that are like Madame Web and Craven. If these don't land, then the studio executive who made these decisions to make these movies should be shown the door. What do you guys think about that? Madame Web, more of a thriller. Does that really mean that much? I don't think so. It's still going to have comic book hero kind of stuff vibe to it, I would say. Chris Schober says, hey, how's it going? Hey, they just dropped a trailer called Star Wars Outlaws. Maybe. We'll take a look during the Twitter roundup, perhaps. Oh, God. We got to talk about something terrible, something not good, and it's going to be I'm going to have to be delicate in how I talk about Namor and the actor Tenoch Huerta. MCU's Namor star Tenoch Huerta accused of sexual assault by Mexican musician. Oh, this is not good. God, the MCU is getting a rough shake here with Jonathan Majors, who is going to be playing Kang. Has been going through the court systems for assault. So the accused, Tenoch Huerta. Now, again, guys, I'm not going to assume that he's guilty or innocent or anything like that right now. It's just, I'm going to look at it more as a PR perspective. This is not good. This is, we got Jonathan Majors, and now we got Tenoch Huerta here in the MCU. Over in the DCU, you got Ezra Miller. It's just one of those things where you, despite how many, like this may not be a case of like him actually doing it. It could be just the accusation, right? Now, it does warrant us to go in and read actually some of the stuff about this by Mexican saxophonist Maria. Okay, so I'm not going to read names here. In a series of social media posts, Rios claimed that the Namor actor is a predator, who is protected by anti-racism group. Okay, now it's starting to look a little bit shady, guys. She claimed that the group published podcasts featuring her without paying her when they disrupted the musician and activist events. They were simply protecting Huerta. So she seems like she's got a case there to be a little bit disgruntled by something, by not being paid, and hey, if I'm not going to get paid, then I'm going to try to take it out on somebody. That's my first observation, but you never know. He said that he's a predator, so let's just take a look at what they said here. I made it very clear to them that I have left their group, that they protect the violent and predator, that they did not publish anything about me. They still wanted to me at the concert of hypocrites to avoid scandals. What? It's very difficult to talk about emotional abuse and abuse of power. So I'm not seeing a case here where, okay, like what being a predator, what did he do? Did he touch her? Or like, I need to know this. Like, they're not saying exactly, right? I guess it needs a little bit more scrutiny. We don't have all the facts. We're never going to have all the facts. So this is where it's kind of like we just kind of have to let these storylines come out and let the chips fall where they may, right? Just to know that, as I said, from the PR perspective, it's not good for the MCU. And if this guy ends up going down, then that's two actors that they would probably have to replace with Kang and Namor. Something about this is it's something about here doesn't feel right. And maybe it's because I don't have all the information. We will never have all the information. It's kind of like, yeah, you can say that he's a predator, and he's being protected by an anti-racism group. But what's the evidence that he's got? Like, what did he do to you? That's what I want to know, kind of thing, right? And I'm guessing you don't want to proclaim that right in the articles, to make you say that, and it's ugly. That stuff is ugly. I guess that's not very PC stuff either. I just, yeah, it puts everybody in a very uncomfortable position, because you don't want to go ahead and say, well, he's innocent without knowing the entire facts. You don't want to say that he's guilty without knowing the entire facts, right? But we just have to be cognizant as movie fans that these headlines are out there. This is happening, and it could have an impact if you're if you're part of the fandom of the Wakanda Forever movie, and that iteration, that small part of the MCU, because it's going to have an impact for sure. Yeah. All right. I think I handled that as best as I could. But we still got some more questionable behaviors to go through here with The Flash. Let's jump over to the DC universe and talk about what Michael Shannon was talking about. Apparently, Michael Shannon has been making kind of a fool of himself. Michael Shannon says returning to the role of Zod wasn't satisfying, praises the Flash co-star Ezra Miller. And then apparently he said something about Star Wars as well. He said something like Star Wars is like below me or something like that. That's like, what are you doing, man? You are appearing in the Flash, and now you're saying that you weren't satisfied by coming back to play Zod again. And it's like, oh, for crying out loud, man! Just if you didn't like it, don't say nothing. Just walk away from it. And then to go out and praise Ezra Miller, going to bat for one of your fellow colleagues. Again, Ezra Miller has done some bad stuff. And I do think that it is going to impact the box office. But I want to see, I liked Michael Shannon as Zod was one of the highlights of Man of Steel. And I did want to see how they made him come back and stuff like that. I wanted to see how they were going to change things up. But he said, quote, "I'm not going to lie, it wasn't quite satisfying for me as an actor." Shannon told Collider about reprising the role. Quote, "These multiverse movies are like somebody playing with action figures. It's like, here's this person, here's that person, and they're fighting," close quote. And exactly, well, yeah. So now see, that, talking about the multiverse stuff and saying that no one really dies, and it's just like, okay, yesterday I accidentally killed this character, or I intentionally killed the character, but because it's just a toy, I can say it's a different universe kind of thing, and we'll come in and we'll play with it again today. And that's what we used to always do as kids, right? With our figures, and it's like, you pretend that one dies, but it's still going to be there kind of thing. And he's just venting a little bit of frustration about that. And I could see, based on that's a little bit frustrating. Like, I'm sure he wasn't contractually obligated to come back. It was a paycheck. And if it was a paycheck, I wouldn't be coming out and saying that it wasn't satisfying. I wouldn't be bad-mouthing it. I'd be kind of like, oh, thanks for the cash. Do I have to come to the premiere? I don't know. So he continued, quote, "It's not quite the in-depth character study situation that I've honestly felt Man of Steel was. Whether people think that's crazy or not, I don't even care. I really feel like Man of Steel was actually a pretty good, sophisticated story. I feel like The Flash is too, but it's not Zod's story. I'm basically there to present a challenge," close quote. Yeah, well, we know that. Because we know that Zod is just going to be like the muscle, right? He's not going to be the main villain. I think the main villain is going to be the evil Flash. That's pretty much all I feel about that. And it's just, again, dude, if you didn't like it, then why are you coming out and making these loud declarations? Especially right before the film comes out. I mean, like, dude. Like, if if the movie came out and you're like 2 years after the fact, it's not in the box office anymore, and it's kind of like, you know, I didn't really enjoy my experience on The Flash, then that's the appropriate time to come out and say that, right? But not not like the week, like 4 days before the movie comes out, you're saying, I just didn't like my experience with The Flash. Oh, but Ezra Miller was cool. That makes it okay, right? No. Come on, man. You can do better than that. And I do like Michael Shannon. I do, quite a bit. It's just kind of like, dude. All right. We still got some unfortunate news to talk about. Gladiator 2 is filming right now, but apparently they had a set that fell apart on them or something. There was an accident. Oh my God. Gladiator 2 set accident leaves 6 crew members injured. Oh man, this sucks. This sucks badly. So an accident on the Ridley Scott's Gladiator 2 in Morocco has left 6 crew members with non-life-threatening injuries. So did a scaffolding fall down or something? Let's just take a look. It seems like there has been an incident. Okay. Yeah, you just said that up there. That took place on June 7th and involved a large explosion during the shooting of a planned stunt sequence. A large explosion. Okay. That's not good. If you're dealing with pyrotechnics, man, again, you got to be looking at the people who are in charge of that. That's their responsibility to make sure that people are protected. People know the rules when they're dealing with pyrotechnics. So, quote, "While filming a planned stunt sequence on the set of Gladiator sequel, the accident occurred during which several crew members experienced non-life-threatening injuries." Okay, you said that like the 4th time now in this article. Tell me exactly what happened. "The safety and full medical services on the teams on site were able to act quickly so that those who were impacted immediately received necessary care. They're all in stable condition and continue to receive treatment." Okay, but the well-being of the cast and crew is the utmost importance to us. We have strict health and safety procedures in place on all our productions. We will continue monitoring the situation. So it's not saying exactly what happened. But if it's dealing with pyrotechnics, maybe they weren't standing behind like they put up plexiglass shields sometimes. Maybe they weren't standing there. Maybe they got hit by the concussion blast. They're not saying exactly. Blew out their eardrums. Now that's terrible if that happens. My God. Or maybe some debris hit them. Gladiator 2 is set for November 22nd, 2024. Minor, I wouldn't say minor setback, but it's kind of like These kinds of accidents, hey, look what happened to the Rust production with Alec Baldwin. I don't expect that to happen with Gladiator 2, but again, like, was there some negligence going on there? That's the kind of thing that I think of right away, right? It's like, because like, as a producer or as a director, this can't happen. This can't happen. Accidents happen, yes, but 6 people injured by pyrotechnics, yeah, that's not good. Gladiator 2. I am looking forward to it, for sure. And we need to do a full live watch along. Oh, talking about that, what else can you find here on Mirror Domains? Well, guys, coming up tomorrow, actually, we're going to be doing a full live watch along for Escape Plan with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. 10 a.m. tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be doing a action. Now that's an action movie, right? Right? Yeah. So come join us tomorrow morning to watch Escape Plan. We'll have lots of fun with that. That's on Netflix right now for most people. This Friday at 10 a.m. we'll be watching Extraction 2 with Chris Hemsworth. I'm really looking forward to that one. That's going to be action-packed, I think. My Transformers Rise of the Beast review is up on the channel right now. Go check that out. We've watched other full movies like The Mother with Jennifer Lopez, and we watched series like The Mandalorian. So go check out all that stuff, guys. It's here on Mirror Domains. We do small little shorts and stuff like that too. Movie news. We do lots of live stream stuff. So if you're a big fan of this kind of stuff, we put up polls. Like I'm going to put up a poll later on this week for next Tuesday's Grumpy Man Reacts. So we'll be doing another kids movie. And you guys will decide it. So start throwing out some ideas there in the live chats or in the comment sections for movies that we can put up in the poll for next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, because tomorrow we're doing Escape Plans. Okay. Yeah. Kristin Davis, who's part of that spinoff from Sex and the City. And Just Like That, has talked about the return of Kim Cattrall. Well, Just Like That, Kristin Davis comments on Kim Cattrall drama. We know that Kim Cattrall is going to be in the second season of this. It's been announced that she's going to come back, but it's going to be like as a cameo kind of thing. She'll be there just kind of like in the background. And from what I understand, I don't think she's going to actually film any scenes with Sarah Jessica Parker, because those two apparently hate each other. But I do like Kristin Davis. I wish we saw more work from her. It's kind of a bummer that she's just been kind of isolated to this. So what did she say? She was speaking with THR. Last year, Sarah Jessica Parker described her falling out with Cattrall as very painful, suggesting that their distant relationship hasn't changed. Well, we're not going to get into the nuances of that. Let's just see. There were just a lot of public conversations about how she felt about the show. Parker said, okay, that's Parker. We want Davis. We want the Davis quote here. Okay, so she said to the Telegraph, quote, we have to respect people's wishes. Yes, of course. I'm not going to waste energy on it. I can't change anybody, Davis explained. I do understand fans' feelings that they're upset. I wish I could fix it, but I can't. That's not in my power. Yeah, some people they can't kiss and make up for the betterment of the show. So it's you still got these 3 girls together. It's just you'll never see the 4 of them back together again, because of people had beefs and they weren't able to squash those beefs. So hey, at least you're going to get her back in some kind of cameo experience. I don't watch the show, so it's kind of like I don't got that stake in it, but I do care about people's work relationships, and as I said, I do like Kristin Davis, I do like Sarah Jessica Parker, I do like Kim Cattrall. June 22nd is the premiere date for the second season of And Just Like That, so that's 10 days away. It's 10 days away, and that's on Max. Pay $22 a month for a few things that you could find on Max. No thanks, but someday maybe I'll watch it. I do like Kristin Davis, though, so it'll be worth checking out. Someday. Someday. Our Glass Viking says Finding Nemo for Grumpy Man and the Iron Giant. Okay, we can put that down. Finding Nemo and Iron Giant. Oh, I was thinking about also putting in Spiderverse maybe, because I haven't seen it. Oh, James, did you just reveal something? Yes. I don't. No, I don't want. I don't. No, I don't want to watch Spider-Verse. But you're a movie fan, James. Yes, I am. All right. Crystal, are you going to do a watch along for Escape Plan 2 and Escape Plan 3? Well, Arnold doesn't. He's only in the first one, right? And we're going to watch those ones because we talked about it on the weekend. And actually, I'll pull up that article again towards the hit or miss that Stallone just came out and gave praise to Schwarzenegger for his career and stuff like that. So it got me just thinking we should go back and watch Escape Plan. Yeah, well, I'll bring that up again in hit or miss. Amy Schumer talks about her experience with Barbie. Now, she was originally going to be playing Barbie. She was the first one to be tapped to play Barbie, and we heard that there were creative conflicts. So I don't know why Joe Blow is running this again unless they've updated it with more information. Amy Schumer said stepping away from playing Barbie came down to creative differences and not scheduling conflicts, as previously stated. Well, scheduling conflicts is the go-to excuse for anything in Hollywood when it comes to, well, this person's being removed. It's because of scheduling conflicts, guys. Don't you know? I have to go over there and flip burgers for 2 weeks. That's why I can't make this film for you guys today. No, it's not. It's more often than not. Like, that's just the go-to puff piece kind of thing that they try to do. It's scheduling conflicts. That's why. No, it's mostly creative differences. We knew that. So is there any more information about this one? Actually, I should have said that this was under like the hit or miss, because this just really isn't that much. She revealed to Variety, quote, I think it was said it was scheduling conflicts. That's what we said. But yeah, it was really creative differences. But there's a new team behind it and it looks very feminist and cool. So I'll be seeing the movie. So she's wishing it good praise, and I am too. I am looking forward to the Barbie movie. I want to see Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling ham it up. I'll watch anything with Margot Robbie. I think that's perfect casting. I really do. The film has so much promise. I'm bummed, but looking forward to seeing Barbie on the big screen, she says. Yeah, so it's really not that much. Yeah, let's move on then. The Tony Awards were last night. Did you guys go out and see it? Did you have any stake in it? It's entertainment news, so we're going to talk about it. I had absolutely no stake in it. Guys, unless you live like in a place where they have like these top productions on and you have like $500 to pay for a seat, then it's just like, I love the theater, guys. I love going to the theater and seeing actual plays and stuff. I don't have this, and they don't play them. Like, I would have to go to Toronto to see the bigger productions, and maybe I will. Maybe I will. Okay, so the Tony Awards winners list. I don't even know if it's worth going through this, because will you guys even know the nominations? The winner was Leopoldstad. Never even heard of it. But I tell you, that's my dream job. If working on a stage, that's my dream job. You get new crews in, you get new cast in, and I'll be there working the fly system, working with the stage manager to make their productions come to life. That's what I would like to do for the rest of my life. That's what I would love to do. Plus, turning on the camera in the mornings and talking movie news with you guys. That's what I want to do with the rest of my life. Like, if I could do this in the morning and then in the afternoons go and work a production on stage somewhere, that's my ideal. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. There it is, James. And then, of course, somewhere along the way, I have to get married to Taylor Swift. So, some things You just have to roll with the punches sometimes, right? There it is. That's my life. That's what I want. We'll have to see. I'm not gonna. Yeah, the Tony Awards, Best Musical. Kimberly Akimbo. Who is it? That one? Jodie Comer. Remember last week when we talked about Jodie Comer had to leave the stage after 10 minutes because of the air quality? She apparently won for her performance. Let's just get some. Yeah, right there. Prima Facie, right? Is that what it was up for? Oh, Jessica Chastain was up for a Doll's House. Interesting. And I do like it when actors who go to the stage, when they do stage productions, because they want to keep that acting muscle sharp. Just like me, when I do these live streams, I got to do this on a constant basis. Otherwise, I just lose that ability to convey emotions and thoughts in a constructive way. You'll see that when I'm rusty at this, I'll be like doing that, fumbling my words. And it's not as smooth. So I appreciate when actors go and do other things besides standing in front of the camera. Yeah. Jodie Comer won. That's the only other big one that I kind of take out of that. All right. Let's move on to some hit or miss. I only got like 3 articles pulled for hit or miss. This one did catch my eye, so this one may be a hit. If it's a hit, we'll talk about it. If it's a miss, we'll move on. Jurassic Park casting director recalls Jim Carrey audition for Jeff Goldblum's role. So Jim Carrey auditioned for Ian Malcolm? Can you guys see that? It's just Jeff Goldblum embodied that character so much. He was also one of the highlights of the film, too. Jim Carrey apparently auditioned for that role, says the casting director. We got a few quotes here saying that we auditioned Jim Carrey for Malcolm, and then Goldblum came in and, of course, blew me away. He's Goldblum. Nobody's like him. I think Steven Spielberg quickly also knew that Goldblum was the one. But Hitchinson recalls, Jim Carrey auditioned for a very long time. He was really into it. I think he really wanted the role. He was good, but it was a totally different way to go. I remember he came in very enthusiastically. Wow. I didn't know that. Every now and then you get a little piece of trivia. Could you see him doing the Ian Malcolm role? I could. But it would be a totally different thing, right? It would be a different feel. But for me, Goldblum was so iconic in that role. And I'm glad that he came back for the second one, and then he was like in, Jurassic World Dominion. Would have been an interesting take with Jim Carrey for sure. So that one's kind of a hit. What's next? Yes. Stallone admits that Arnold was superior in their rivalry. Okay. So, yeah, we saw that Stallone came out and was, over the weekend, was praising Schwarzenegger's career, saying that he had the body and he had the action. Because they had that rivalry in the 80s where they were dueling with Rambo and Predator and Rocky and Terminator, those kinds of things. They were battling back and forth as to who was better. Now, I said this yesterday about the two. Arnold stayed in his wheelhouse. He stayed in the action wheelhouse. He tried to do comedy every now and then, but like Kindergarten Cop, it worked and stuff, Twins. But he never went into any dramatic pieces like Stallone did. Like Stallone had a lot more range, and we saw that in comment sections yesterday when we looked at this story. That people said, "Well, Stallone could act circles around Arnold. Arnold still could take a one-liner and deliver it in such a way that it works. One-liners are not easy; they're not to pull off because a one-liner, by most definitions, is cheese. It's a cheese ball line. And even Arnold can fumble them. We've seen that in Batman and Robin. He fumbled them straight up. So, but out of the careers, I would say, yeah, Arnold's definitely had the louder ones with Terminator 2, Predator. And yeah, even smaller ones like Eraser, but like he's been in other big ones like True Lies. He's just had a bigger, longer career. And we just watched Arnold in Fubar on Netflix. We did a full live watch along of Fubar, and he was good in that too. And he was starting. He has done some dramatic pieces now. Later on here, what was that one? Becky or something, where his daughter becomes like a zombie. That one was cool. I like that one. And he had some dramatic sequences in Fubar, whereas Arnold, he does have that dramatic muscle. I would like to see him do just a straight up dramatic piece more often, as he's getting into the twilight of his career. They're both in the twilight of their careers, but just to see that Stallone was being a little bit humble there, I respected that, and that's why tomorrow, guys, tomorrow we are watching Extraction 2. Oh, sorry, not Extraction 2. Tomorrow we're watching Escape Plan. Tomorrow morning we're watching Escape Plan. Friday we're watching Extraction 2. So come join us on that, and we'll have lots of fun watching those two big action icons on the screen at the same time. Yeah, well, I don't know that they were in the Expendables, but I thought we would go in and watch Escape Plan, because I think I watched it on Netflix once, long time ago. It was a good movie, though. So we'll watch that. And what's the final hit or miss? Melissa Barrera believes the Scream movies will keep coming until fans no longer want them. Well, that's pretty much the case for almost all series. So is that really substantive enough for us to warrant talking about? It seems like a no-brainer, right? So we're not going to humor this. I liked Melissa Barrera in Scream 5 and 6. I agree with her that we should probably... I would like to see more of delving into her psychological problems and stuff for Scream 7. Some of her other movies bombed, and she said that she took it personally. Well, you're not quite up there yet, right? She's not as recognized as Jenna Ortega, but she'll get there. She's got that screen presence, and I really saw that in Scream 6, that she's got that ability to pick up and carry a movie when it comes time for her to do it on her own. Despite the fact that some of the smaller, lower budget movies that she's in and stars in have not been performing. Despite that, when she gets enough notoriety, I think she'll be able to be like the major starring, heavy lifting of the role. All right. Guys, that's all I got in the can for today. I thought we would just go over to the Reddit roundup, Twitter roundup, see what's going on out there, see if I missed any big movie news headlines that I missed, and we'll roll from there. And if we're lucky enough, we'll watch the Star Wars Outlaws trailer. All right. Stephen Wynn and Pedro Pascal for variety actors on actors. I started to try to watch the Jenna Ortega one this morning, but I just got sidetracked. Steven Soderbergh says he's not afraid of AI as a writer. It has no life experience. It's never been hungover or scared. It's never felt insecure because somebody it went to school with has become incredibly successful. As of today, it's not keeping me up at night. Me neither. You know what? The AI is going to be able to put together the grid, the rough grid, the first draft of a script. But then on the second draft, as a writer, you can just go in and look at it and personalize it and put in the life experience that the AI is lacking. What I would use the AI for as a writer, I would use it to get through roadblocks. I would use it to give me options. Like if I'm blocked in a story where it's kind of like I don't know how I resolve this to get to this point, that's when I would be using AI to bring in options for me to go, oh, well, that works, but it's not all that great. Try again. That's what I would be using the AI for. Because I still think that the original stories are hold more water. Okay, Justin Machado for horror. To star in the horror Dolores Roach for Prime Video, July 7th. Okay. Morvith Clark, Ismael Cruz Cordova, photographed by LA Times. They were, of course, in Rings of Power that we watched here on the channel. I really liked the Rings of Power. Actually, I really like that photo. That's a good photo. Again, I like the shading contrasts. And I'm looking forward to the second one. Morvith Clark. I know that a lot of people didn't like her as Galadriel, but I thought she was majestic. And I can't wait to see her character evolve. I can't. And he was really cool. Oh, what the heck was his name? Adonis? Or something like that. I forgot. I used to have my notebook. I'm not going to pull that out to pull it up. But yeah, he was cool. Trailer for The Honor. Dolores. Okay, Margot Robbie. There must be another trailer for Barbie coming out. That's what I'm thinking. And where the heck is Ryan Gosling's werewolf movie? Remember, he was going to be like, they scrapped the Javier Bardem werewolf movie that was going to be taking place in the dark universe. That was going to be like Tom Cruise's Mummy was going to take place in that universe. They scrapped that and they were going to redo the werewolf movie and it was going to be with Ryan Gosling. Where the heck is it? Now I'm curious because I want to know what the heck's going on with that, because last I heard he was going to do something like audacious like The Gray Man 2. Let's just take a look at his IMDb and see if he's got that still on his upcoming schedule. By the way, Blade Runner 2049, it's a masterpiece. It's an absolute masterpiece. For me, in my books. Why is that taking forever? Why are you jumping around like this? It's not me, guys. It's just the page loading up. The Gray Man. Okay, previous. Upcoming. Barbie will be in this. Completed. The Fall. Oh, yeah, and he's going to be in The Fall Guy. Wolfman, pre-production. So it's been stuck in pre-production for God knows. And yes, he's going to be in the Margot Robbie Ocean's 11 prequel film, apparently, as well. I don't know what Project Hail Mary is. But yeah, Wolfman. Arendir. Arendir was Art Glass, Ismael Cruz Cordova. Okay, yeah, that's it. Thank you. Yeah. Wolfman, still in pre-production. Nicole Gatzine stars in August. Okay. Ryan Gosling on Barbie. Taylor and I really close mates. Red, White, and Royal Blue. Don't know what that is. It's a series, right? Red, White, and Blue is a series. First look at Red debuts on Prime Video August 11th. Andrew Barth Friedman put off going to Harvard to star in No Hard Feelings alongside Jennifer Lawrence. Well, I would too, but getting into Harvard, I do want to watch No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. Be looking forward to that. That comes out soon, doesn't it? No Hard Feelings. June 23rd in Canada. Really? So, not this week, next week. Okay. Oh, wait, yeah, there is a lull there. There's a lull between... there's a lull between Flash and Indiana Jones 5. There's a week. There's a week there. Let's go to June releases. and get some confirmation. June. Indiana Jones is, June 30th. That's right. Asteroid City and No Hard Feelings come out the same week. The Wes Anderson Asteroid City. I'll tell you this. Out of No Hard Feelings and Asteroid City, I'm watching No Hard Feelings. Asteroid City is going to be a Wes Anderson art house film where I feel like I'll have to wear an ascot to the theater to fit in with the rest of the social elites. Can you guys see me wearing an ascot? Be like, what the heck am I doing here? Okay, yeah. This week, Elemental comes out, Flash comes out, The Blackening comes out. Extraction 2 on Friday, we're watching. Blackening, that's coming out too this week. Well, that's going to get buried. Blackening and Elemental are going to get buried. And here it's saying that Strays came out last week. Did Strays come out last week? I don't remember seeing that. Strays. Let's just pull up a cinema listing, one that's fairly comprehensive. See if Strays came out. No, not seeing it. That must be wrong. Let's go to Toronto. See if it came out in Toronto. Strays. That's that talking dog movie, right? Where he's like the owner is abusive to it. And they want revenge because the dog, the owner tries to strand the dog. What the heck is this? Bones of Crows. Is that a Chinese film? Never even heard of that one. About My Father, Blackberry. Wrath of Becky was playing in Toronto. Oh my God. An hour and 24 minutes. I want to see that one. That's one I want to see. I don't know if I'm going to drive that far just to go see Wrath of Becky, though. I'll wait for streaming. But no, I'm not seeing Strays. Maybe Strays is next week. Maybe that information is false. Let's check out Saturday. Flash is going to be there. Sure. So no. Really weird. That's strange. Oh, it's 12:03. God. My God, guys. That's all I got for today. That's pretty much all I got. Yeah. Do look at Skydance Spellbound, starring Rachel Zegler, Nicole Kidman, and Javier Bardem. Well, I like Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem working together again. That's cool, right? No Hard Feelings clip. Spider-Man. Yeah. Jodie Comer is halfway to an EGOT status. That's when you win an Emmy, a Golden Globe, an Oscar, and a Tony Award, right? Well, she got her Tony Award. She got an Emmy for something? All right. Yeah. That's all I got in the can for today, guys. Join us tomorrow. Strays releases August 18th over there. Well, let's settle that. Strays release date. Yeah, August 18th here in Canada. Why did that page say that it was going to be June 9th? Maybe it got pushed and they just didn't update that page. So that's still a couple months away. Yeah. Comedy. And it's a crass, vulgar comedy, which could be refreshing for middle of the summer, right? All right. Guys, that's it for me. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and join us tomorrow for Escape Plan with Arnold and Sly. That'll be cool. Full live watch along. And then we'll be back with movie news on Wednesday and Thursday, and then Extraction on Friday. It's going to be a good week here. And then, of course, then on Saturday, you got my straight out of the theater reaction for The Flash And I think we'll do it the same way we did on last Sunday, where I'll just turn on the camera on Sundays, do my formal review, and just roll with it like that. All right, see you tomorrow, guys, or next time on Mirror Domains. Enjoy the rest of your day.